Hello, and welcome to the Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment online tutorial. This tutorial is split up into 3 modules which together will provide a detailed understanding of the Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment Report and Analysis tool. Module 1 will provide an overview of the Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment Report and Analysis tool, including the rationale for developing the tool. Module 2 will provide a detailed explanation of the Techscope methodology. Module 3 will demonstrate how the Techscope report and tool can be applied to assess a country's solar water heating market by using the example of Lebanon. If you have any questions about any of the material covered in this tutorial, please consult the original Techscope report available at the URL listed on the screen. Welcome to Module 1 of the Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment online tutorial. During this module, I will provide an overview of the Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment Report and Analysis tool, including the rationale for developing the tool and a brief overview of the methodology, including the scoring system. The Solar Water Heating Techscope Market Readiness Assessment, from now on referred to as Techscope, is a tool that was developed by the Global Solar Water Heating Market Transformation and Strengthening Initiative, also referred to as the GSWH project, a joint undertaking by the United Nations Environment Program and the United Nations Development Program, and funded by the Global Environmental Facility with co-financing from the International Copper Association. UNEP's Division of Technology, Industry, and Economics is leading the knowledge management component of the GSWH project, while UNDP is the main implementing agency. While carrying out the GSWH project, UNEP's knowledge management team identified a need for a replicable and publicly available methodology to evaluate the solar water heating policy, finance and investment, business and quality control infrastructure across countries. While several methodologies are available that analyze renewable energy markets or specific solar water heating market segments, no methodologies are publicly available that provide a high-level evaluation of national market development opportunities for solar water heating. The Solar Water Heating Techscope seeks to fill this gap by providing stakeholders with a market readiness assessment methodology and tool which can be used to benchmark and evaluate different solar water heating markets. The Techscope report provides a detailed explanation of the assessment methodology and serves as the instruction manual for the Market Readiness Assessment tool. Module 2 will review the methodology in detail. The associated Excel-based tool allows interested users to input the relevant data for a specific country and receive a score. Module 3 will walk the listener through the case of Lebanon to derive a specific score from the methodology. The Techscope aims to improve the understanding of the opportunities and challenges related to developing vibrant solar water heating markets. The tool can be used to benchmark the current status of different countries' solar water heating markets in a standard manner and evaluate solar water heating support programs by comparing the score both before and after program implementation. The tool is intended to be useful to a range of different stakeholders as depicted in the graphic below, including policymakers, investors, developers, and researchers. For policymakers, the tool can be used to benchmark current country achievements against specific objectives, compare achievements against other countries, and set future solar water heating market and policy goals. It can also help policymakers gain an overview of policies and regulations to develop solar water heating markets, as well as insights into the effectiveness of policy frameworks in different countries. Investors can use the tool to inform investment decisions by finding out information on the policy environment, investment environment, business and value chains, and quality control regimes in different countries. For developers, the tool can be used to inform business development decisions such as entering new solar water heating markets. The tool can provide valuable information on the competitiveness of solar water heating as compared to traditional heating fuels, the current solar water heating market penetration, and the availability of local financing for solar water heating projects. Researchers can use the tool to find sources for market and policy information on solar water heating and also use the methodology to assess the opportunities and challenges of a specific country or region's solar water heating market. The assessment methodology was designed based on in-depth research on international solar thermal markets and policy development, as well as review of the experiences and outcomes of the 5 global solar water heating project countries: Albania, Chile, Lebanon, India, and Mexico. The methodology was also guided by resources such as the OECD Handbook on Constructing Composite Indicators and was benchmarked against the methodologies used in other sustainable energy indicator analyses including ClimateScope, Arab Future Energy Index Energy Efficiency, Arab Future Energy Index Renewable Energy, Assessing the Investment Climate for Climate Investments, a comparative framework for clean energy investments in South Asia in a global context. The assessment methodology was reviewed and informed by an advisory committee that consisted of international solar heating industry and policy experts. The Market Readiness Assessment focuses on domestic solar water heating systems, which comprise the vast majority of installed solar heating and cooling capacity. The Techscope methodology focuses on 4 interrelated parameters: solar water heating support framework, national conditions, financing, and business climate. The support framework is defined as government policies, regulations, and engagement programs such as solar water heating targets, financial incentives, loan programs, building mandates, and outreach campaigns. National conditions include the incoming solar radiation, i.e. insolation, solar water heating penetration and market growth, energy demand trends, and the competitiveness of solar water heating compared to other traditional heating fuels. Financing takes into account national macroeconomic conditions as well as data on access to loans and the cost of financing. The business climate is assessed by examining the ease of doing business, the existence of solar water heating product quality and installation standards and certification, and the presence of associations that support solar water heating industry development. This graph shows the weighting of each of the parameters. These 4 parameters are composed of 18 indicators that reflect different elements of the enabling environment for solar water heating in a given country. This table outlines the specific indicators that make up each parameter and the individual weighting of each of these indicators. The indicators selected draw primarily from publicly available datasets that include data for a wide range of countries. However, there may be cases when data is unavailable for a particular country. In these situations, Techscope users may use alternative or proxy data sources. Module 2 will go into greater detail on the definition and data source for each of the individual indicators. As can be seen in the table, each parameter and indicator is assigned a particular weight. The respective weights reflect the impact a specific parameter and its corresponding indicators have on creating a robust solar water heating market. The weights for the parameters and indicators were developed using the budget allocation process outlined in the OECD Handbook on Constructing Composite Indicators. A network of international experts were first asked to provide input on the relative weights that should be assigned to each parameter and each indicator. The budget allocation process was conducted then in 3 steps. First, the experts were asked to assign weights to the 4 parameters using a budget of 100 points. The parameters were weighted based on experts' judgment according to the relative importance to enabling environments for solar water heating. Second, the experts weighed the individual indicators. Third, the experts' assessment of indicators and parameters were analyzed in aggregate order to inform the development of the final weights. Together, these indicators and their corresponding parameters can be used to construct a snapshot of a particular country's solar water heating market by providing an overall score on a scale of 0 to 5. Each country receives a score for the different indicators, which are then multiplied by their individual weights and summed to provide the score for the different parameters. The parameter scores are then summed to provide the overall score for the specific country. It should be noted that the score used in this methodology is not intended as a judgment on the comparative quality of a given country's enabling environment for solar water heating. Different countries have markedly different conditions that need to be considered in detail on a case-by-case basis. Instead, the scoring is intended to serve as a tool for focusing market and policy discussions on specific issues and providing a starting point for comparisons, rather than serving as a definitive and standalone comparison on its own. The different indicators are scored using one of several approaches. In the case shown on the screen, this indexed score is based on a 0 to 5 scoring system, with 5 representing the highest possible score. Using the indexing approach, a country with the maximum value for a given indicator would receive the highest score in the index. All other countries' outputs would be mapped relative to the maximum score. This approach is employed for quantitative indicators such as solar water heating market penetration, as shown here. In this example, the scoring for solar water heating market penetration uses an indexing approach. The upper end of the index is set to the penetration rate achieved by Greece. Although some countries have higher per capita levels than Greece, recent indices have classified Greece as a mature but still growing market, whereas countries with higher penetrations such as Austria and Cyprus have begun to reach a point of saturation at which market growth is beginning to slow. In this case, countries' indicator scores are tiered into predefined quintiles. For example, tiering is used for the solar water heating growth indicator. The solar water heating growth score is based on the average worldwide growth rate of installed solar water heating capacity during the most recent 5-year period for which data was available. Using the average worldwide solar water heating growth as the high end of the growth rate range, a series of tiers were assigned for growth rate ranges across quintiles. A score was then assigned to each quintile on a scale of 0 to 5. Binary scoring results in either a score of 0 or 5. For instance, binary scoring may be appropriate to determine whether a country has a quality certification for solar water heating installers or not. If they do, they receive a 5. If not, they receive a 0. This scoring approach used for the solar water heating support framework indicators for parameter 1 demonstrates how the binary method is used. If a country has targets, they receive a 5. If they don't have targets, they receive a score of 0, and so on. A higher score reflects the fact that there is significant policy, financial, and industrial infrastructure in place within the country to support and enable solar water heating deployment. A lower score reflects the fact that some of the building blocks for a robust solar heating market may not yet be in place. The Techscope methodology assigns the following broad labels for scores. A score of 0 to 2 indicates that a country's solar water heating enabling environment is considered to be emerging and could likely benefit from significant additional national or international support to accelerate market growth. A score of 2 to 3 indicates that a country's solar water heating enabling environment is considered to be good, with the market positioned for increased growth. A score of 3 to 4 indicates that a country's enabling environment is considered to be strong and is likely to attract significant investment. Many of the world's leading solar water heating markets will score between 3 and 4. A score of 4 to 5 indicates that a country's solar water heating conditions are very strong. Policy, market, financial, and business conditions are aligned closely in support of solar water heating, and market growth is likely to be rapid. Given the alignment of factors necessary to score above 4, the number of countries with very strong enabling environments is extremely limited. It is important to note that a country's score is a static snapshot and does not capture progress that a country has made in strengthening its enabling environment. Ideally, the analysis tool could be deployed to assess a country both before and after a significant effort to strengthen a country's solar water heating enabling environment in order to track improvement. Finally, we are excited to preview the Techscope greenhouse gas calculator for residential solar water heating, which will be released in fall 2015. The Excel-based greenhouse gas calculator will be integrated into the UNEP Techscope Market Readiness Assessment tool and can be used as a companion tool to help policymakers plan solar water heating market development initiatives. The objective of the tool is to help policymakers quantify GHG emissions reductions associated with the increased residential solar water heating deployment. The tool may be useful for the commercial sector as well, but it is not intended for industrial sector emissions calculations. The Excel-based greenhouse gas calculator was designed with policymakers in mind, but could be adapted by a wide variety of users interested in estimating greenhouse gas emissions associated with the use of solar water heating. The model was also designed to minimize required inputs and avoid dependency on market data that may not be available in all regions. The Excel-based greenhouse gas calculator is designed for simplicity, flexibility, and scalability. It estimates the emissions avoided by using a few simple inputs and assumptions. The first set of inputs is related to the type and quantity of installed solar water heating systems in the country. The second set of inputs is related to the type and ratio of fossil fuel-driven hot water heating systems that are displaced by the solar water heating systems. It is possible to use the Excel-based greenhouse gas calculator for a variety of purposes, including estimating the GHG emissions avoided by currently installed solar water heating systems in a country or region, estimating the potential GHG emissions reductions from a single project, estimating the potential GHG emissions reductions from a policy or program based on assumptions about the amount of solar water heating capacity installed as a result, estimating the potential GHG emissions reductions from organic growth of the solar water heating market, and setting a target quantity of solar water heating systems needed to reach a desired GHG emissions reduction target. For example, where a country is considering developing a nationally appropriate mitigation action for solar water heating, the greenhouse gas calculator can aid in the planning process by helping to estimate greenhouse gas emissions reductions from a solar water heating policy or program. The Excel-based greenhouse gas calculator includes a detailed user manual that walks the user through the steps of using the tool. There is also detailed context-specific help embedded throughout the model. By hovering the mouse over the information reference boxes marked with an I, comment boxes will appear with more detailed information on each input or calculation. The tool includes two main input sheets. In the first input sheet, the user enters data to define the scale of solar water heating uptake for the greenhouse gas reductions desired. Input sheet 1 includes 6 distinct inputs. Defining the preferred unit of measurement, providing the solar resource for the country being analyzed, defining the type of solar water heating systems, defining the average collector yield, defining the average piping and storage losses, and defining the amount of solar water heating systems installed. For some inputs, the user is required to enter the data manually, and for others, default data is provided. Based on the information entered into the Excel sheet, the total output of solar water heating systems is calculated. In the second input sheet, the user provides information on the fossil fuel energy that will be displaced by the solar water heating systems. Using this data, the model calculates the greenhouse gas emissions of avoided fossil fuel systems. The input sheet requires 4 inputs. For some inputs, the user is required to enter the data manually, and for others, default data is provided. The inputs include type of fossil fuel used that is avoided by solar water heating systems, efficiency of avoided or replaced fossil fuel systems, total primary energy of avoided fossil fuel systems, and effective CO2 equivalent emissions factors for fossil fuels. The results of this analysis can be viewed in a simple summary sheet that provides the greenhouse gas emissions reductions as a result of the solar water heating installations in table and graphic form as displayed in this slide. The information provided includes the output of solar water heating systems installed, the total greenhouse gas reductions in kilograms of CO2 equivalent per year, and in the form of useful equivalencies such as passenger vehicles on the road, barrels as well as the greenhouse gas reductions avoided by each fossil fuel type. The report is designed to serve as a printable or publishable summary document of the data, already formatted to be printed on letter or A4-sized paper. This report provides the results of a solar water heating development scenario carried out for the Dominican Republic. In this scenario, the Dominican Republic deploys 1 megawatt thermal of solar water heating, which displaces electricity used for heating water. In this scenario, the Dominican Republic could reduce greenhouse gas emissions by over 400,000 kilograms of CO2 equivalent per year. The greenhouse gas calculator should prove to be a useful resource to policymakers and other users that are looking for a simple way to determine the quantity of solar water heating systems needed to meet greenhouse gas emission reduction targets, or the extent to which a current or planned solar water heating program may reduce a country's emissions. This concludes Module 1 of the Techscope Market Readiness Assessment online tutorial. In Module 2, the parameters and their associated indicators will be covered in greater detail.